Good day, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Teacher Eyes TV. This latest episode of Teacher Eyes TV is very much different from what we had in the previous videos. Well, definitely because what you will see now is just a presentation of the slides with which I will be discussing with you. So, if you already have watched one of my videos in entrepreneurship, which is entitled Feasibility Study, there I discuss what feasibility study is about, why is it important to conduct a feasibility study, and how it ensures, entrepreneurs that the business that they are planning to put up will be successful if the conducted feasibility study is well written and is successfully written. Okay, so this lesson that I will be sharing with you today is actually very much related to that because this discusses the first chapter. Remember in that video, if you were able to watch that, there are five parts of the feasibility study, which are chapter 1, introduction to the study, chapter 2, market study, chapter 3, technical study, chapter 4, financial study, and chapter 5, organizational study. Now, let me share with you chapter 1 of the feasibility study. Okay, so teachers, as you teach your students in writing this can be helpful. Okay, this video can be helpful, and also the students, this can be a guide for you to how to writing your feasibility study. Okay, so what is this? Let's start with the learning objectives. Okay, so the learning objectives for this lesson are the following. At the end of the period, the student should be able to identify the parts of chapter 1, explain the importance of chapter 1 in conducting the feasibility study, and number 3, write chapter 1 of the feasibility study. Of course, teachers, this will happen only chapter 3 when you are done discussing with them the concepts and then you are able to give them examples. That's the time they formally write chapter 1. Okay, that's the transfer, that's the output. Now, let's go to what it is really. Okay, so chapter 1, introduction to the study, has different parts. So letter A is the background of the study. What's this? From the term background, it talks about everything about the business. So this is why it says here, it discusses the type of business, its coverage, and the concept by providing basic information about it, what it is all about, and why you think it will be a potential business and sustainable business offering. So in this part, the background of the study, there should be a paragraph for you to identify the type of business that you want. Will it be a food business, a non-food business, a service business, or whatever kind of service business will that be? Okay, so what are the coverage? What is it all about? What are the basic information about the business that you want to put up? And why you think this business will be a potential and sustainable one? Very important is the sustainability of the business that you're planning to offer. So, the background of the study also discusses the theme where your business is anchored. You know, what makes a business more successful is the creative theme, no? The unique theme that you connect to it. Because the theme of your business actually tells the consumers or your clients your identity. And it's very important that as entrepreneurs, you know the identity of your business. So, for example, just like for example, you want to put up a food business. Okay, so what would be the theme of your food business? Will it be like a fusion of different cuisines? Will it be customized cuisines? So and then down to the more specific themes that you want to have. And with that, you have to not only identify, but explain what this theme is about and connect it to the type of business that you want to offer. Is that clear? So that's about the theme. Now, also very important is to discuss the services or the products that you are to sell and why you think they are potential products, services for your business. So identify the products. What are these products about? Or identify the services and what are these services about? Why do you think they are potential offerings to your clients? Actually, it can be a combination of products and services. There are so many businesses right now which are actually a combination of both. Okay, so we go to the next slide. that is still part of the background of the study. Discuss the purpose of the study or the business that you will propose. What do I mean by this? Is it addressing a particular gap or problem in the community? Because you see, if your business you are planning, the business you're planning is actually responding to a gap or a problem in a community, that will be a very good business idea. Because definitely that's what the clients would really want. Okay? Then we have identify the existing studies or history of the business in the past and present that is similar to your product or service line. What do I mean by this? I always tell my students, look at the milk tea industry. It's offered way back 2006, 2016 rather, or 2011, even before that. But until now, it's still thriving. So therefore, it's sustainable, no? It's still thriving. There have been so many brands that came out and present brands that we have right now, but still it's in the market. So you have to make a research of why and how they became successful. What made them successful? And then at the end, compare, no? Compare the past and the present businesses and compare it with your own business. How competitive is your business against all these brands, against all these establishments with the same product line as yours? Just that is very important for you to know if your business will actually thrive in the business, thrive with the competition, considering the competition that you may encounter. Compare how your business can compete with the current brands or existing businesses in the product line or service line. Now, here is an example of a background of the study. Okay, so this is quite long. Actually, if you really make a more comprehensive background of the study, this is very short. But let me just read this, okay? So the first paragraph says, the food industry continues to evolve, offering diverse dining experiences that cater to different tastes and preferences. One of the growing trends in the restaurant business is fusion cuisine, where flavors and culinary techniques from different cultures are combined to create unique and flavorful dishes. The feasibility study explores the potential of establishing a buffet restaurant that specializes in fusion of Filipino and Spanish cuisine. So here, this is the product type. It's a fusion of Spanish and Filipino cuisine. Okay, so definitely a food business. Now let's talk about the second paragraph. The second paragraph is actually the business concept and coverage. So let's say that the business name is La Mesa Hispano-Filipina. La Mesa Hispano-Filipina is a buffet-style restaurant that offers an intensive selection of Filipino and Spanish fusion cuisines or dishes. The business will operate within the food service industry, targeting customers who appreciate traditional and modern culinary experiences. The restaurant will be strategically located in a high foot traffic area to attract a wide range of customers from families and professionals to food enthusiasts. The concept is anchored in celebrating the shared culinary heritage of the Philippines and Spain, offering a dining experience that reflects history, culture, and modern innovation. So, the basic concept and coverage of this business. Now, the third is theme, the theme of the business and the potential for sustainability. Let me read. The theme of La Mesa Hispano-Filipina revolves around cultural appreciation and culinary excellence. By blending traditional Filipino flavors with Spanish cooking techniques, this restaurant creates a unique gastronomic experience that stands out in the market. The increasing popularity of fusion cuisine and buffet-style dining suggests strong growth potential and sustainability for business. Additionally, the restaurant will incorporate locally sourced ingredients to ensure the freshness while supporting local farmers and suppliers. So, sustainability and then the theme. Okay. Now, we go to the next paragraph, which talks about the products and services of this business. The buffet will feature a variety of dishes inspired by Filipino Spanish cuisine, including paella, callos, cochinillo, adobo, and leche flan. These offerings cater to customers who seek an authentic yet innovative dining experience. The self-service buffet format allows customers to explore multiple dishes, making it an attractive option for those who enjoy variety. Additional services include private dining for special occasions and catering services for corporate and social events. These products and services have high potential due to their unique flavor profiles and the growing demand for culturally diverse dining experiences. So, products and services were identified and explained why they could be really profitable. That's it. Now we go to the next paragraph of this background, the purpose of the business. Now I want you to listen. The business aims to address a market gap by offering a dedicated Filipino-Spanish fusion buffet, a niche that is currently underrepresented in the local food industry. Many restaurants serve either Filipino or Spanish dishes individually, but few establishments specialize in a fusion of the two cuisines. By providing this gap, La Mesa Hispano-Filipina provides an opportunity for customers to explore the harmonious blend of these two culinary traditions. So that's the purpose, that's addressing the gap. Okay, I hope you understood. Now, the last part would be this, the historical and competitive analysis. Although this background here actually did not mention any brands or restaurants, specific restaurants, because this is general. What you have to do is to really look for those that existed in the past, what made them successful, and then those that are existing now at current, and then what's making them successful in the same service industry or food product industry, and then how competitive is yours. So let me read this one. This is very plain. Fusion cuisine has gained global popularity with many successful restaurants blending multiple culinary traditions. Filipino and Spanish dishes have long been interwoven in the country's food culture, as seen in well-established restaurants that incorporate Spanish influences in Filipino cooking. However, few restaurants have fully embraced a fusion concept in a buffet setting by offering a wide selection of traditional and innovative fusion dishes. La Mesa Hispano-Filipina can compete with existing brands by emphasizing authenticity, variety, and affordability. So compared to existing buffet restaurants that focus on international or Asian cuisine, our business stands out by offering a specialized menu that highlights Filipino-Spanish heritage. The uniqueness of this concept, combined with strategic marketing and quality service, gives La Mesa Hispano-Filipino a competitive advantage in the growing food industry. So that's now comparing the uniqueness and the potential and competitiveness of your business with the present and the past businesses of the same product line or maybe service line. So this is how a background of the study should be written. And again, it's better that you have more details added to it. And these are all research-based, especially those that existed, the businesses that existed in the past and still existing until now. Okay, so I have another example here. I will not anymore read. So this is about a Mexican cuisine offering. So this was done during pandemic when I was teaching the first batch of students during the pandemic. So that's it. And then we have another background of the study. This one focus on noodles. It's a customized noodles. They named their business Noodlicious because customers or clients can just pick from the different toppings, different flavors that they offer. And so they named it Noodlicious. Okay. So credits to those who made this in the previous years. So those are another example. So the next part of the feasibility or of the chapter one is letter B, profile of the entrepreneurs. So what is this? It simply talks about you as an entrepreneur. Okay, your hard skills, your talent, your knowledge, your soft skills, your values, all this combined, you have to connect that to how this can contribute to the successful operation of the business. So just like what is written here or what are written here, it says brief description on the background, skills, and knowledge of the business partner. So if you're five in the business, all five should be writing, making their own profile of entrepreneur. Identify your hard and soft skills, your talent, and explain how this can contribute in the successful operation of the business. Supposing you're good in digital creations, or maybe you're creative in terms of promotion, media promotion, or maybe you are a good leader, you have these leadership qualities that can help your team to be successful. So you just have to identify them and explain how this can contribute or help your business to be successful in its operation. And then you see here, add a recent formal picture in each profile, because that is a profile of the entrepreneur. Each one should have a picture attached to every profile. So that's just that. We go to letter C. Sorry, that's a typo. C is objectives. We all know what objectives are. Okay. So there are three of these kinds. The first is objectives of conducting the study. It's a statement that will just uh, express the objectives of the study. Why are you conducting the study in the first place? What's this for? 2 to 3 sentences will do. Direct to the point. Why are you conducting the study? The next is objectives of the business. Now, when you talk about the objectives of the business, the goals of your particular business, your SMART goals, your SMART objectives. What are the particular objectives of the business itself? So, specific. Sabi nga natin, SMART goals, specific, measurable, attainable, reliable, and time-bound. What are these? So you can just make an introduction and then identify in bullet form what these SMART objectives are of your own business. And next one is vision, mission. The vision is the dream of your business. How do you envision your business 5, 10, 15 years from now, or longer than that? Your dream that when your business reaches 5 years, your business should be this. When your business reaches 10 years, it should be this. So that's your dream, your vision. Now your mission is the way you accomplish your vision. How do you reach the vision? That's your mission. Later, I'll show you an example of that. But we go to letter D, D na tayo, which is methodology. The strategies in conducting the study. Okay, in all researches, there is methodology as part of that. Will it be a survey, a virtual interview, a focus group discussion, or what other methodologies will you use? Why did you decide to apply those strategies, and how will you do it? Okay, so if you're saying you'll do it through a survey, what kind of survey will you do? How will you do it? Why do you have to do it? How helpful will that be for the feasibility study? So that's it for that. Now, let me go to the example of vision. Here, Vision, the company aims to become one of the best and known online businesses in the world for our food products and service. It commits to bring the best Mexican delicacies whenever our valuable customers order our cuisine, which encourages them to purchase and order some more. So that's the vision. Remember, actually, the shorter the vision, the better. The use of words, the way they are stated, they really matter. They have to be really emphatic. One-liner vision is very good for as long as, it it already tells us what your dream is for your business. And then we have the mission. The firm sells, as an example, quality food to our valued customers and consistently provides them with impeccable service by demonstrating warmth, graciousness, efficiency, knowledge, professionalism, and integrity to our work, giving families a great experience and satisfaction by selling the best Mexican food in the region. So look at that. That's how the vision can be achieved. Do you see the connection with how these are stated? So by selling quality food to the customers, they will be able to reach that dream of being the best and known online business in the world for this kind of food product. By being consistent in providing them with impeccable service, demonstrating warmth, graciousness, efficiency, knowledge, professionalism, and integrity, this can help achieve the vision of being the best and known online business for Mexican delicacies in the world. So, vision again is the dream, how you envision your business to be, while your mission is the way to accomplish your vision. Is that understood? So that's it. Now let's have an example for methodology. All right, see this methodology. To figure out if our current lineup of products will be marketable to consumers, we plan to conduct a survey. We plan to use an online survey like Google Forms to be able to reach more people in this time of pandemic. Aside from using the online survey, we also plan to interview our family members who live under the same roof as us to have more detailed feedback on our planned products. This will allow us to ask them if the taste is to their liking and allow us to get their input for our planned products. We decided to use online surveys for more contactless transactions to stay safe in this time of pandemic. We will also be able to reach a wider audience and gain more feedback about our planned products. Us interviewing our family members will give us the opportunity to have other people taste our products before we mass produce them and see if the taste is to their liking. So, this is only a sample. This one has been done during the pandemic time, no, the online distance learning, and this is one of those outputs that my students did. So, the more effective methodologies or instruments used in conducting the study, the better. So, as you can see here, it only explained why this is the kind of methodology that will be used and how effective it will be, how helpful will it be in conducting the study. So that's the methodology. All right. So, teachers and students, this is what chapter 1 is all about, the introduction to the study. I hope that I was able to share with you valuable lessons, okay, in conducting chapter 1 or writing chapter 1. And I promise to be giving more lessons about this until we reach chapter 5. So again, if you like the video, I hope that you will like and share this video to everyone that you know. And I hope that you will be able to use this in your lessons, dear teachers. And also, I hope that students will be able to understand better lessons in entrepreneurship, specifically the feasibility study, which is actually not easy to do. All right. Okay, so to end this one, once again, this is Miss Pakle for Teacherize TV. I'll see you again in our next videos. Thank you for watching.